Hello guys and welcome back to a new video. If you will enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments to help me boost this video. Thanks. Story 1. Hess died and Karen wants her money back. BC won't let her be nosy. A worker from a company who stays at our hotel comes down. He wants a keycard to check his friend who didn't show up to work today, won't answer calls, and won't answer the door. My manager on the phone tells me to bring the keycard myself. And come with. It's late. I'm 21 and the only worker there. I knock on the door a few times, yelling. After a minute, I open the door. I just see a foot hanging off the side of the bed. The only other time I've seen a dead body is at a funeral. His coworker and friend is trying to shake him awake. When that doesn't work, he breaks down crying and calls his boss. Apparently they were close friends. His cries bothered me more than the body did. I call the cops. They say do CPR. I touch his skin. His body feels tight, hard, and cold. His hands and feet are purple. All that's on our boxers as he lies face down over the covers of the bed. I say it's too late, and as a 21-year-old woman, I can't flip over this 300-pound man to do CPR anyway. The blood has pooled to the bottom of his body, looking like bruises where he lay. The cops get there, and firefighters, and my manager and coworkers, and EMTs, and the coroner, and not asked much. They mainly talked to my manager and the guy's friend. The police are there for hours, taking evidence. It takes 6 people a long time to get down the stairs. A firefighter was rude to me for whatever reason. Have a great day. Sure. Sarcastic. Why? A man is dead. Furious. Like, oh, the man has a dog in the room with him. Since the owner is dead, animal control shows up. This is where Karen comes in. Why is animal control here? Did someone hurt a poor dog? Starts crying. I don't know. I'm not supposed to say anything. She gets mad. Says, I have a right to know by staying in this hotel. It's public information. I tell her I can't say. My coworkers back me up. She asks one what their major is. I'm studying nursing. Snide, no you aren't. I put on my best customer service voice. I was so polite and shit, but she still demanded I give my name so I can report you to your manager. And then your manager's manager says this is the worst she's ever been treated at a hotel. Simply because I said I can't share details. It was out to bother cops and animal control herself. Animal control told me more than you out of the kindness of their hearts, implying I'm heartless. She finds my manager and pisses her off so much, I will give you your money back if you leave the hotel right now. And she agreed. Came up to me. I give her receipt. How am I supposed to know I'll get my money back? It says on the receipt. That proves nothing. I want to know when your owner will be here next. I don't know. He's out of town. But Karen kept demanding. I had to drag my manager away from the grieving man and police to deal with Karen. Karen claims she's got a million degrees, a professor. Earlier she told me she was in grad school. She writes all our names down to report us to the regional manger later, which we don't have, and walks out scoffing, howling about how rude we all are. I watch 6 people carry the body down the stairs and back and wonder how some people can be so entitled. Story 2. Hess tries to pull the lawyer line. A few months ago it was very busy at my hotel, and a guest came to the front desk. He wanted to check out early. He had checked in that day and wanted to leave but not pay. It had been so busy that I wasn't thinking straight and said that I would have to check the room. If it truly hadn't been used, then sure you can check out and I can resell the room. I went upstairs and saw that the room looked clean but different. The bed had been made, but not the way housekeepers make it. Pillows were in different places and the sheets had been tucked in the wrong way. The towels were hanging on the bathroom racks, but not rolled the way they usually are. I started putting everything together and went back to the front desk. I pulled up the reservation history. I should have done this from the start, and saw that he didn't just check in, but he'd been there for 4 hours. At this point it is after 6, and HSKP has left for the night, so the room cannot be cleaned and therefore not sold again. So I inform the guest that he can still check out, but he will be charged for the night. Yes, but I didn't use the room. I explained to him all the things that I observed in the room, and that yes, it was used, and that no one else is here to clean it. Hest, why don't you clean the room? Then I wouldn't be able to work the front desk. Hest, do you want me to contact my lawyer? Now, thanks to this sub, I knew what to answer. Neat, sir. Since you have brought up legal action, we cannot speak anymore. Have your lawyer speak to our corporate lawyers. They will know how to get in touch. The guest paused for a long time. It seems he had never gotten that response before. Hest, but ... what about my refund? You have to talk to your lawyer about it. He wanted to keep talking to me for like 5 minutes. I had to point out that the cameras in the lobby had microphones, and that the conversation was inappropriate because anything said could be used in a deposition. He finally walked away, and I took an extra long break. Story 3. My co-worker brings her dog to work. It's a problem. She was asked to stop after a few incidents, so she wrote us an absolutely crazy 4-page memo. I live in a small town and started working as a night auditor in a hotel a few months back. I rarely ever interact with other employees, let alone the guests. I enjoy it, lots of time to read and putz around on Reddit. Recently, due to several wildfires and the mandatory evacuations they created, we've had an influx of long-stay guests who've lost their homes. We also have several fire crews in-house, which has been fun. No sarcasm there, they're great. The issue, however, is this. The other night auditor brings her dog to work. It is not a service animal. While the hotel is pet-friendly, she has been asked to stop bringing her pet in with her. She has ignored these requests. Recently, we've been getting complaints. Her dog has chased people through the building, attempted to bite guests, attack children, and fight other dogs. In response to these complaints, she started locking her dog in the guest dining area kitchen. Her dog has been pooping in the kitchen, which is an issue. When our bosses finally put the boot down and told her no more pets, she wrote a 4-page memo about the issue. Short version, she admitted that her dog had done everything stated above. That the reason people were complaining was because of a satanic reptilian Illuminati plot against her and her pet. I wish I was kidding. Here is the memo in all its glory. I've redacted identifying names, including the dog's name. Communication post September 8, 2022. At this time, it would be best practice to leave all employee pets at home due to several complaints and concerns from guests. While we understand that we know and love the pets of staff members, we cannot possibly tolerate pets being aggressive to guests. September 16, 2022. Dear staff, this letter is in response to the comment above, which was posted in the communication log on September 8, 2022. If you have any comments, please feel free to post them at the bottom of this letter. A bit of background about my canine companion. She is 1 year old and has been with me at this hotel since she was 8 weeks old. Together, she and I are the night auditors. It's worked out well because she stays awake with me during the shift, and we both sleep during the day. She likes all of the front desk staff and gets excited when it is time to come to work so she can greet them and begin her shift. So far, she likes in the best, possibly because they have made her feel welcome, and they are kind to her. Many of the guests also like her, and she has received many positive compliments from them. She has gone through various stages of development and growth, and presently she is at the stage of finding her voice and honing her socialization skills in a public setting. She and I eat a plant-based diet to teach her non-violence and harmlessness. Her food is scientifically fortified, which I have to purchase online from a specialty company in order for her to take in all of the necessary nutrients to keep her strong and healthy in body, mind, and spirit. I take her training seriously, and the ultimate goal is for her to be peaceful, calm, socialized, and comfortable with all. So far, she sees the hotel as her house, and is presently working on understanding that it is okay that other people besides staff members may come and go through the front door. She barks to announce the arrival of people she doesn't know, and therefore I keep her gated behind the desk when guests are circulating about. She does not bark behind the desk. In time, I feel she will relax more and more. When everyone has gone to sleep and it is quiet in the hotel, I allow her to play with her toys in the lobby area, and she likes to follow me into the laundry room, etc., while I go about my cleaning duties. Her socialization training is something we diligently work on, and there is still room for improvement in this area. The other night informed me that 2 guests approached her on September 8th and yelled at her about. Apparently, the guests stated that barked at them. It is possible that barked at them as stated. However, I can't recall who this is or verify this because neither of these people approached me about this issue or came to the desk to speak with me directly. I apologize again for this, as I know it doesn't feel good to be on the receiving end of a complaint or when someone unloads on us. It was also brought to my attention from a different staff member that the man named who stayed with us on August 31st folio complained to the front desk that barked at him and chased him down the hall. This I can verify to be true. It was after hours, quiet in the hotel, and she was following me around while I cleaned. Mr. unexpectedly walked down the hall, and it startled her that she also chased after him as he walked away and expressed her disapproval of him. I redirected her immediately and apologized on her behalf. A bit later, the lobby and hotel were quiet again. No one was around, and so I allowed her to play with her toys in the lobby area. It goes without saying that the lobby is a public area, and the guests should always feel comfortable coming and going as they like. But Mr. was making his presence known deliberately to rouse, and walked through the lobby several times in the wee hours of the morning to smoke cigarettes in the front of the building. I finally realized that he was doing this purposely to harass her, and I put her in the other room with the door shut. His response was to drop an F-bomb at her, and the following morning, he reported the incident to the front desk and was rewarded a free night stay on the hotel due to his complaint. Adding here that Mr. was charged a cleaning fee due to housekeeping finding towels and sheets soiled with feces, and everything had to be thrown away. He is a troubled man, and while we can hold compassion for him, I do recommend he is allowed back at the hotel. As stated above, there is room for improvement with S socialization skills, which she and I are dedicated towards making her a success. It is important that she behaves properly and like a nice young lady while she is here. She is a loving, funny, and loyal little being, and it is a blessing that she is here on planet Earth. She has helped me to tolerate the grave shift hours, too, with her excellent company and companionship she provides. I'm now going to explain something that may seem strange, but it is necessary to add this because it is the truth and it relates to what happened with the complaints against. Some of you are already aware that my second job is lightworking. I am a lightworker for Planetary Ascension. Recently, I completed some work to shine light upon the reptilian negative alien races who are present on this Earth plane and who are behind child trafficking. The reptilians have demonstrated vicious, predatory behaviors, and they are very dangerous towards humans and animals. This information about their presence has been kept from mainstream society, and the controlled media spins half-truths and lies about what is truly happening on planet Earth. However, things are heating up planet-wide, and a full disclosure event will be taking place in the near future. Other things that these invading reptilian races are involved with include human abduction, forced breeding programs, forced experimentation, and hybridization of human DNA, satanic ritual abuse, adrenochrome harvesting, pedophilia, the COVID pandemic, chemtrails, the 9/11 terrorist tragedy, and uncountable other crimes against humanity. I have studied these negative alien races since 2015, and I am acutely familiar with their retaliatory attacks against those of us who stand up for the light and shine light upon their darkness. The recent complaint against was a deliberate and planned attack against me the reptilians targeted and used the situation to get back at me, to retaliate because of my recent work in calling out their child trafficking crimes to the Texas CASA. My contact to the Texas CASA was on the same day, August 31st, that Mr. made his appearance, and the other 2 complaints came afterwards, for 3 in a row. Noting also that the reptilians are reading this post, as they are able to track, spy, and interfere via advanced technology through television, computers, cell phones, and other devices. Therefore, I'm letting them know that God is my witness, and I will assist in standing up for those who have no voice, such as those who suffer with child trafficking, SRA, etc. To recap, under normal circumstances, and especially at a hotel, which allows dogs, if a dog barks at someone, normally the person would shrug it off, as long as it doesn't continue, which it didn't. I redirect each time, and lovingly encourage her to be peaceful and calm. She also has never nipped at anyone. Her barking is instinctive, and with time it will ease up, and I feel confident that she will be more at ease as she gets through this growth stage. Although is absolutely heartbroken that I have left her at home, I am keeping her at home for a few weeks to work more intensely on her training, and plan on using a vibrating bark collar to better get her attention. Her time away from the hotel will allow the tension from the dark forces to settle too. When I feel she has improved with her barking and listening skills, I plan on bringing her back to work with me. Thanks for listening and for keeping an open mind and an open heart. Story 4. Hest complains about being sent to a no-name luxury hotel. Gets sent to the bad side of the highway to a recognizable hotel instead. We had a night where we were overbooked and knew we had to walk about 12 rooms to another property. This was not typical, but we had a contract come in later for 30 rooms for a 2-week stint. Government prepaid these guests. Were always well behaved, and we weren't going to tell them no because one night we would be oversold. When we were oversold, we noted which guests were only staying for a single night, so we didn't have to worry about moving them back to our hotel the next night. There were about 25 of these single night guests checking in. Because this was such an egregious oversell, the VP reserved rooms at the super high-end, historic, and famous hotel down the road. This way, as these guests came to check in, we could at first just make the offer to them, and hopefully we'd get all volunteers rather than have to force people out. Per our company policy, too, back then, we paid for it in full. So basically, these guests would get a free night. Despite the offer of a free night at a nicer hotel, for which we would provide transportation to, it got to the point that the last 5 we would have to send to the other hotel regardless. Some of the check-ins I understood wanting to stay with us, such as ones that had kids they'd rather not see running around a hotel like that, but others just didn't care if they spent the money. The ones that did take the offer jumped on it, and were quite happy. Of the last 5, 3 of the guests arrived together and shrugged it off and took the shuttle over. They seemed middling about it, but they got off our airport shuttle, so I think they were more tired than anything. The 4th to arrive. He was a doozy, dressed in a tailored 3-piece suit, metal luggage, visually presented to impress. We explained that we were out of rooms for the night, but that since his reservation was guaranteed, we'd be footing the bill to move him to the high-end, famous hotel down the road. Now this hotel down the road isn't part of a chain. It has been independent its entirety, over 100 years old now, 700 plus rooms, private golf course, hosts heads of state type events. Very posh, very if you have money, you know type of place. Mr. 3-piece suit, I am not going to be shoved off into some no-name hotel. Meet, sir, this is a very exclusive hotel, and much nicer than Mr. 3-piece suit, interrupting me. I only stay at internationally recognized brands, not one-off no-name hotels that no one has heard of. The 3 out of the last 4 sitting presidents have stayed. Mr. 3-piece suit did. You, not here. Me, I only stay at the best of the best. At this point, the night manager is walking up to the front, introduces himself, and asks if there is a problem. Mr. 3-piece suit says he is staying here and will not be sent off to a no-name hotel. Night manager looks at me and I shrug. Night manager, sir, the X Hotel is a world-class facility. Mr. 3-piece suit interrupts him again, very loudly, and turning red. Night manager takes no shit, but politely smiles and tells him fine. He will put him up in an internationally recognized brand and walks him over to guest services, so our driver can take him across the highway to an internationally recognized brand that has a good reputation, but is definitely a step down from us. The last guest to come in, a local couple who was having grandma babysit so they could have a night free, were absolutely giddy about getting to stay, or free at the historic hotel down the road. But Mr. 3-piece suit, who knows? I guess as he was trying to look the part of a rich exec, but didn't have enough information to play the part. Story 5. I got my front office manager and hotel manager to resign after sending a letter to HR, and the CEO when I quit. Hello friends, it's been 7 months since this happened, and I think it's been long enough to tell the story. Last year I got a job in a huge hotel, and I had the best hotel manager I've ever had. After a few months, she had to resign due to moving to a different city with her family. She starts training this new guy to take over. He's very closed-minded, and they clashed when trying to do the handover as he wasn't really taking any of what she said in. Fast forward maybe a month, and he decided to demote me from front office manager and hire a random to do my job who I then had to train, which didn't make sense. And he never had any hotel experience. Fast forward maybe a month, I start getting pulled up from the new FOM to talk about the way I'm treating guests. I'm being too friendly, and I'm creating an unrealistic expectation of how guests will be treated by staff. Bro, what? It honestly was unbelievable. An example, helping a guest take their luggage to their room. A very normal hotel thing, but I wasn't allowed. He started being more and more rude to me over a couple of months, even being degrading in front of hotel guests and residents. I actually had a few come up to me and advise the way he's treating me isn't acceptable. His treatment of me got worse, telling me I'm not allowed to go to the bathroom without asking, yelling at me for being too helpful still, and he even started getting into arguments with the residents and guests. He brought me to tears a couple of times. I started keeping note of all the ridiculous things he was doing and started looking for a new job. Finally found a new job. Put my 2 weeks notice in and started asking for help to put together a letter to send to HR so they can hopefully do something. Once I left, I finalized the letter and sent it to HR and the CEO. Didn't hear anything back for a while until I heard from a friend that worked in the same brand hotel, different location, that both the FOM and hotel manager resigned a couple of weeks after I sent my letter. I considered that a win. Story 6. I really hate fake service dogs. I really hate fake service dogs. For one, it gives real service dogs a hard time, both because there are other untrained dogs around, and people are more skeptical of people saying their dog is a service dog because of fakes. I've probably dealt with 100 dogs someone claims are service dogs. I'd say probably 2 were ones I consider an actual service dog. For the non-hotel people, when a guest brings a service dog, you may not ask for papers, you may not require them to wear a vest, and you are very limited on the questions you may ask. There are only 2 questions you can ask, and they are, do you need this animal because of a disability? And, what tasks has this animal been trained to perform? And that's it. They have to answer yes to the first, and in the second they must describe some task like it guides the blind, it protects my head during a seizure, or it reminds me to take my medication. Many people use to answer emotional support or comfort animal, but those are not tasks recognized by the ADA and do not count as service animals. Most people have learned the tricks by this point and just throw out a task. So anyway, today someone is checking in with a dog, so I'm called to come ask the questions. I don't make regular agents ask the questions, as it's hard to know all the other regulations, and people can be very combative about answering anything about their fake dogs, so I have them call me or another manager. The conversation goes like this. Do you need this animal because of a disability? Hesitation. Test. Disability. Oh, yes, I guess. Okay, what tasks has it been trained to perform? Test. Well, I called, and they said service animals are fine. Yes, we allow service animals, and the ADA has guidelines for verifying them, and one is to identify the task the animal has been trained to perform. Test. Well, we have a card and paperwork. Sir, I don't need that, and am in fact not allowed to ask for a license and paperwork. I just need to know the task the animal has been trained to perform. Test. I'd rather not say. We don't like to talk about it. Okay, but without a task, I have to charge a $250 pet fee. Test. But it's a service animal. Okay, what task has it been trained to perform? Test. But we have a card, we don't have to answer that. Okay, does the card tell me what task it is trained to perform? Test. I don't know. Okay, let me see. But to be clear, I am not requiring a license, I just need go know the task. Test hands me their little card you can order online for anyone. I look at the card, and clearly written on the card is, hotels may not ask for proof and may only ask 2 questions. Is this animal for a disability, and what tasks is it trained to perform? Sir. The card clearly says you are required to let me know the task the animal has been trained to perform. Test. Well, I forget what the task is called. At this point, I am beyond over it. Frankly, I never really care if it's fake. We are always allowed to charge for damage, and we can evict disruptive dogs too. All I want is for them to say yes, and give me whatever task they Googled is acceptable so I can put it in the notes as a cover my ass move in case there are issues. Well, let's do this. Go to your room and look up the task, and let me know in an hour. Basically hinting go Google something so I can add notes. Hest huffs but accepts, and I finish their check-in. He returns 30 minutes later, and in called up front. Okay, sir, what tasks has this animal been trained to perform? Hest, well, I have bipolar, and sir, stop. I don't need to know anything about your medical condition. I just need to know the task the animal performs. Hest, well, I have a disorder, and sir, again, I don't need to know your condition, just the task. Hest, well, can you just put comfort animal? At this point, I don't even care. They are only a one-night stay. Okay, sir, please remember the animal may not be left unattended in the room, and if there are damages, we will charge the card. He huffs off, and I just throw in alerts of seizures in the notes. The next day, they checked out, and of course had left the dog unattended during dinner, and had pissed in the room. It was very satisfying to charge $750 to that credit card for carpet cleaning and putting the room out of service for a day. Can't wait to see that disputed charge. Triple checked I had signature on file, and we got a CC chip read, so we will always win those. And boy, I really hate fake service dogs. At least have the courtesy to Google the questions and have your fake answers ready instead of wasting my time.